Welcome to the People's Impact News with your host, Margaret Kelly. Brought to you by the Baton Rouge Weekly Press, a people's publication serving Baton Rouge and surrounding areas.
Good morning, I'm Margaret Kelly and welcome once again to the People's Impact News. As we take a look at our weather, we are doubly thankful that tropical storm subsided and bypassed Baton Rouge, and the rain has also given us a break. Now, there isn't anything lurking in the Gulf that we are aware of presently, so we continue to move through hurricane season okay. Right now, we are simply in the midst of some beautiful fall weather. And today is a beautiful day in the mid-80s with moderate humidity. It was a little bit foggy earlier. However, it looks like we will be okay. We'll only have partly cloudy skies throughout the weekend and into the middle of next week. So now, the People's Impact News is brought to you by the Baton Rouge Weekly Press, a people's publication. Now, you can pick up your weekly press at a drop-off site near you. If you don't know where that is or would like to establish one, please call us at 225-775-2002 or email us at theweeklypress@yahoo.com. All right, on last week, we began coverage on the big story in our nation and on the national front right now, which is the governmental shutdown. Unfortunately, this is still our front page news because the shutdown has not yet been resolved. And as I reported to you last time, the shutdown came on Tuesday, October 1st, after Congress was unable to come to an agreement on the spending bill. Today, we continue to follow this story on the government shutdown as President Barack Obama makes it clear that he will not be willing to negotiate. He will only be willing to negotiate when the Republicans end the threat that they have hurled throughout this episode. On Tuesday, President Obama said that he would negotiate on budget issues only if they would agree to reopen the federal government and raise the debt limits with no conditions. Now, Mr. Obama was relentless at a news conference, and he stated that when the Republicans were ready to talk about these things, that he would be willing to head on up the hill to find a resolution. Now, House Speaker John Boehner is reported as saying that there are no boundaries in potential talks, and he also made no mention of recent Republican demands to delay parts of President Obama's health care law in return for approving funds to end the government shutdown. So it looks like both sides are holding their guns, and until someone concedes, this shutdown will continue. You can read this story in its entirety in this week's edition of the Baton Rouge Weekly Press. Now, how is this governmental shutdown impacting us here at home? Well, this partial government shutdown is going to affect us. It went into effect actually on last Tuesday. National parks have closed, and right now, new federal loans have ceased. Many of Louisiana's more than 20,000 federal employees have been told to stay home without pay. And it's reported that airports and federal courts are operating as usual, at least for now, that is. Food stamps, veterans benefits, Social Security, and Medicare will also be delivered for right now. So those are things that we don't have to worry about. Now, most of the employees from the national parks have been furloughed, and they don't know when and if they will be able to return to work. 64 of the 69 employees at the French Quarters Visitor Center in New Orleans walked out last week not knowing when or if they will be returning to work. So this also means that the parks are closed to tourists, and these tourists come to Louisiana to visit, and they won't be able to do this at this time. So this shutdown may take a considerable toll on our tourism here in Louisiana. So we'll keep watching and try to keep you informed on what's going on here. Okay. Also in our front page news this week is the story about the salmonella outbreak. Now, this salmonella outbreak has left nearly 300 people sick in America. This epidemic was spread across 18 states, and it seems to be isolated to raw chicken from Foster Farms, which is located in Los Angeles, California. According to the Food Safety Inspection Service, this is impacting us all because due to the governmental shutdowns, the outbreak shows that it is a terrible time for government public health officials to be locked out of their offices and labs. And for the government websites to go dark. Now, the Center for Disease Control has been hampered in tracing the outbreak because the government shutdown meant that the agency had to shut down PulseNet, which is a national network of public health laboratories that looks for trends and matches reports to spot foodborne illnesses and outbreaks. Now, it's reported also as one of the agency's most important tools in detecting such problems. And it appears that this shutdown is impacting us in all sorts of ways. So let's hope that it will soon be resolved and come to an end. All right, as we come a little bit closer to home, still on our front page, but in our local news, our own Senate President Pro Temp, Sharon Weston Broome, has received the Pacesetter Award and was honored at the Women's Leadership Conference. Now, Ms. Broome is said to be the 2013 Women's Legislator Lobby Pacesetter. So we want to congratulate her for representing us well, and you can read more about her award and her accomplishments in this week's Weekly Press. Also in the Senate, Louisiana State Senator Troy Brown is nominated to participate in the 2013 Center for Advancement of Leadership Skills. Now, this is a part of the Southern Legislative Conference and the University of Arkansas, and it will be held October the 30th through November the 3rd in Little Rock, Arkansas. Now on our front page in community news, the Jewel J. Newman Community Center reopens, and this time with a new interim director. Now, the new interim director is Mr. Gregory Handy. Mr. Handy is a retired Exxon employee and a lifetime resident of the Scotlandville community. So hopefully Mr. Handy will be able to go in and do some good work with this center for the community. Okay, as we get ready to take our station break, I want to make you aware once again that the Soul of the South Network has made its way to Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Now, if you're watching me, you know this. However, we want to give all of our Weekly Press viewers the opportunity to take advantage of shows like the People's Impact News and others. So we need your help to get the word out and to make us a permanent fixture on your cable lineup. So you can help us by contacting your cable provider and telling them that you want Soul of the South to be added to your cable network. Now, you can get more information on how to do this in this week's edition of the Baton Rouge Weekly Press. Now, we're going to take a break, and I'll see you shortly. Okay, welcome back. Now, as we continue to take a look at our state and local news, the Office of Alcohol and Tobacco Control will launch a youth alcohol and tobacco awareness program in Baton Rouge. Now, Troy Hebert announced that starting this month, the program will be announced to schools and other youth organizations in the city. And this comes at a good time because the month of October is National Red Ribbon Month, which deals with alcohol abuse and awareness. So this is a good thing for the youth of our state and our community. On that note, Breck has decided to serve and sell alcohol at some of its facilities. They say that after lots of planning and thinking this out, they've made the decision to do this. So you can read the entire story in the weekly press this week and get all of the logistics, and you can see what you think about that. Okay, we're looking at our community news now. We told a story about the Mirror of Grace in last week's segment, and I'd like to follow up with that because we always like to continue to shine light on people who are doing good things in the community. And the Mirror of Grace Outreach Ministry here in Baton Rouge is offering free computer classes. Now, if you missed the information last week, I'm going to give it to you again. These classes are for individuals with little to no computer exposure, and they will provide basic computer training to assist individuals in obtaining and developing an understanding of skills to meet the needs of today's employer. Now, the classes are being offered Monday, October 7th, the Intro to Computers, Wednesday, October 9th, Microsoft Word, Wednesday, October the 16th, PowerPoint, and then Tuesday, October 22nd, Excel Part 1, Wednesday, October the 23rd, Excel Part 2. And all of these classes are from 6 to 8:30 p.m. Now, for any additional information, an additional class on the website design for beginners will also be offered, entitled Building a Free Website. Now, this class is scheduled for Saturday, October the 12th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. For more information, you can call 225-300-4528, and you can speak with Patricia A. Harrell, the Executive Director, or you can email her at info@mirrorofgrace.org. So this is good information for you if you're looking for additional training to make yourself more marketable in the job market, or if you simply want to enhance your skills for personal use. So we thank the Mirror of Grace for that. Okay, we always want to recognize and celebrate our seniors, and we have some seniors who are making a difference in our communities. The Scotlandville chapter of AARP took part in a National Day of Service at the St. Vincent de Paul's cafeteria. Now, they stuffed what they call bags of hope for St. Vincent de Paul's recipients. So we just want to say thank you to all of those seniors, and we pray that you will continue to make a difference in our community. We want you to check out Marge's Chit Chat in the Baton Rouge Weekly Press. Now, Marge gives us all kinds of good information. She tells us who to know, where to go, what to do, all of those things. And she gives good information that you don't want to miss. So check it out and stay informed. Now, you can read more about these stories as well as others like them in this week's edition of the Baton Rouge Weekly Press, where we strive to keep you informed and in the know about what is happening in the world, in our state, and in your communities. So pick up your copy today of the Baton Rouge Weekly Press. Okay, one of the things that we have in our weekly press are what we call commentaries. Now, this week we have some really interesting commentaries in the paper, keeping in line with what is in the news. Jose Lugo writes about the good, the bad, and the ugly of the government shutdown. Now, he suggests that the shutdown may indeed be a good thing. So I don't know how you feel about that, but check out this commentary and see what you think. Additional commentaries this week are on How the Credit Card Act Saves Consumers Billions, and that's by Charlene Crowell. And Yes, Mental Illness Does Affect Us by George E. Curry. And finally, Do You Help or Hurt Ex-Offenders, a commentary by Vince Carthane. So check out all of these writers' opinions and see how they contribute to your own ideas. And if nothing more, it's food for thought and the making of very interesting conversation. Okay, we informed you on last week that this is National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Now, last month, we told you a lot about, for the men, we were talking about it being National Prostate Cancer Month. Well, National Breast Cancer Month was founded in 1985 as a partnership between the American Cancer Society and the Pharmaceutical Division of Imperial Chemical Industries, which is now a part of AstraZeneca, producer of several anti-breast cancer drugs. Now, the aim of the National Breast Cancer Awareness Month from the start has been to promote mammography as the most effective weapon in the fight against breast cancer. Last month, as I said, we focused on our men in our viewing audience, and we encouraged as well as gave information on free screenings and other information to help save lives. And this month, we will do the same for you women in hopes to help all of us stay alive and well. Now, breast cancer rates are rising, unfortunately, in Black women. A new report shows that the number of Black women who are diagnosed with breast cancer is on the rise, but doctors are not sure what is causing the increased numbers. About 232,000 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer in 2013, according to the government statistics. More than 39,000 women are expected to die from the disease this year. It is reported that about 8 in 10 breast cancer cases and almost 9 in 10 breast cancer deaths occur in women 50 years of age and older. Now, previous research suggests that Black women with this disease fare worse than diagnosed white women. Reports also show that white women have historically had the highest breast cancer rate among women over 40. But Black women are closing the gap, especially those ages 50 to 59 years old. Now, in a recent study, Black women saw a 0.2% increase in breast cancer rates during a 5-year study period, while there were no changes among whites, Asians, or American Indian women. Hispanic women saw a 0.6% drop in the breast cancer rates. Black women continue, unfortunately, to be more likely than other women to be diagnosed with breast cancer before the age of 40, and were more likely to die of breast cancer at any age compared to other women. Okay, so again, sisters, I want to admonish you, like I did the men, to take care of yourselves. We take care of everyone else. Black women carry the world on our shoulders, but if those shoulders happen to fall, then everything else will come tumbling down with them. So get checked, get a mammogram, and take care of yourselves, okay? I want to add a little bit of information to that. Did you know that Louisiana has one of the highest rates of breast cancer, despite an average rate of diagnoses in our state? If you know someone who is uninsured or underinsured and cannot pay for an annual screening, please call 225-215-1234 or 1-888-616-4687 for help. This is through the Susan G. Goldman Baton Rouge Foundation, and they have funded $2.8 million in local programs here in the Baton Rouge area since 1996, and $875,000 in research. So Baton Rouge is affiliated with the Susan G. Goldman for the Cure, and is located at 9151 Interline Avenue, Suite 8A, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, 70809, or they can be reached at 225 615 8740, or you can call the helpline at 1-877-GO-GOLDMAN, www.goldmanbatonrouge.org. So make that call and get the help that you need. Okay, we're going to move right along to our church news, and we have good things to talk about. Now, the Bethany Church is celebrating 50 years of service to ministry and to the Baton Rouge community. The church was started with 11 people in a living room and now has a membership larger than 6,000 members between two campuses. And they're still expanding and growing, and they will be launching a brand new campus in Livingston Parish in the coming year. So the church is now pastored by third generation Pastor Jonathan Stockstill. So we want to congratulate Bethany and say thank you for your commitment to the people of Baton Rouge and to the ministry. Thanks a lot, Bethany. Okay, the Cove Ministry of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, held their healing and deliverance service on Friday, September the 27th, at the Martin Luther King Jr. Community Center on Gus Young Avenue. Now, the service was well attended, according to our reports, and according to Evangelist Ernest Jenkins, it was an awesomely powerful and anointed service. Jenkins, who was one of several dynamic evangelists in attendance, brought the message for the evening. Evangelist Jenkins came from James 5:3-15, which talks about the prayer of faith. And the theme of the service was "A Miracle is Waiting for You." So stay tuned for information on other dynamic services to come from the Cove Outreach Ministries. And we want to just keep paying attention to that. And so we're going to continue with our church news when we come back from our station break. Welcome back. It's time for our sports news. Now, the Saints went marching all the way to Chicago, Illinois. Last Sunday, our New Orleans Saints took their undefeated 4.0 record and faced the monsters of the Midway, the Chicago Bears, who were 3-1. Now, the Saints' Drew Brees threw for 288 yards and 2 touchdowns, completing 29 out of 35 passes, targeting running back Pierre Thomas for 9 catches, 55 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Now, Drew Brees went on to hit tight end Jimmy Graham for 10 catches and 135 yards. The Saints' offense didn't rack up a lot of those yards as we have grown accustomed to seeing. However, they left the Bears' skin with a final score of 26-18. Now, turning to the defensive side of the team, the Saints got 3 quarterback sacks on Jay Cutler of the Chicago Bears, and the Saints defense only allowed for 4 out of 10 third down conversions and forced 1 fumble caused by free safety M. Jenkins. So the Saints played solid football on both sides of the ball. Next week, the Saints will travel to Foxborough to take on Form 1 New England Patriots, putting their 5-0 record on the line against Tom Brady and his team at Gillette Stadium. So go Saints, go. Okay, the LSU Tigers are preparing to take on the Florida Gators, and it will be strength versus strength this weekend. Now, while the Tigers have a strong offense, the Gators have a strong defense. And LSU's offense is averaging about 488 yards a contest, but the 17 ranked Gators are on the way to Baton Rouge to try and slow the pace of LSU's quarterback Mettenberger. So it should prove to be for some great college football this weekend. Now, Southern University Jaguars will be taking on the Alabama A&M Bulldogs this weekend. Now, last week, Alabama lost to Mississippi Valley, but their coach, Anthony Jones, says that they still have opportunities. So Alabama A&M and Southern are tied 7-7 in their history. Southern traveled to Louis Cruz Stadium to take on Alabama A&M last season and walked away with a disheartening defeat. But as the Bulldogs come to the Jaguars home front this time, we will see how things are going to go. Well, that's going to just about bring this week's news to a close. But if you're looking for something to do this weekend, and you want something entertaining and you want to make a difference, the Sisters Supporting Sisters will host Jazzy in the Pink, an event to benefit breast cancer survivors, and it will be held on Sunday, this coming Sunday, October the 13th at Hemmingbow, located at 10101 Highway 965 in St. Francisville, Louisiana. And this activity will be from 4 to 7 p.m. Now, Jazzy Pink will be an afternoon jazz, silent auction, gourmet food, and good times for everyone. And Sisters Supporting Sisters is a nonprofit breast cancer surviving organization of African American women founded in 1996 by 10 breast cancer survivors. So this is a good cause, and it sounds like it's going to be a really fun time. All right, whatever you do, I hope that you have a great weekend and a wonderful week. And remember, you have the ability to not only make